Okay, we're recording. Take two. Where this is our second chance.
We got the broadcast.
Okay,
going.
we're back on.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. It looks like we lost all our viewers. All our viewers are gone. Hi, you guys. Sorry, we. You see? Hi, you guys.
Okay.
Sorry, we. See the view meter.
Hi, you guys. I'm sorry we
See the view meter.
Hi, you guys.
What is this doing?
I'm sorry we see the view meter. Hi, you guys.
What is this
Oh,
doing?
my
I'm
goodness.
sorry we see the view meter. Hi, you guys.
It's doing.
I'm sorry we see the view meter.
There we go. Now, how do you get that back?
How to give that back?
What we were the live.
I have no idea. Are you not streaming anymore?
Yeah, we are.
We are. How
Yeah.
come? Where are we?
That was the front page. I'm not sure how it looks on yours. We are streaming right now.
Okay.
There
There it is.
There it is, right there. That one. There. Okay. Hi, everyone. We have 4 people back.
Okay.
Hi, we're back. I see that we have sound.
Okay, and we got to get on yours now.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and.
Okay. Well, you guys missed the best teaching ever in the 7 minutes that we had no sound. Thanks for your patience. Anyways, all we were saying is it's week 5, and we're really happy you're here. And we had a full day today. We just barely got home, and we were all day at Unity, and we went to church this morning, and then Bill went to a class. He's starting a 5-week class that he's doing. I don't really want to do it at the moment because my schedule is really busy. I'm going to be training to become a Unity chaplain. And then we went to a wedding. So our friends Kenneth and Marie got married today, and so we went to just this incredibly fun wedding. And we just got home. So here we are, and it's week 5 of spiritual economics. And what I was saying, I'm kind of laughing at myself, because I really practice these principles. But for the last couple of days, I've had what the world would call flu symptoms, just major congestion, coughing, nose running. So I've got tissue just in case, and if it gets bad, I'll get up and walk away, but because we don't want to be too gross here. But it's funny because last night I was really going through it. It was just like, oh my God, and I couldn't sleep, and I got up at like 2:45 in the morning, and I was just coughing, but there's something about really seeing we have the power to decide what story we're going to tell. That most people would say, oh, I'm sick. But you can choose to see it differently. Like, you really can choose to see that it's not sickness. I don't know what it is, but I'm not sick. I'm not a body. I'm spirit. But last night at 2:45, I came out here in the living room, and I was just sitting on the couch, and it was dark, and I was thinking about the day that we have today, and I thought, you know what? I think I'm just not going to go to church in the morning. I think I'm just going to stay home, and I'll meet Bill later at 3. And I just sat quietly with that for a few minutes, and instantly I had a thought, you can't be sick. What are you talking about? Sickness is isolation. Sickness is impossible. You're not sick. Get over yourself. You're going. Like, that all happened, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going. I'm going to church in the morning. And that's the thing. It's like you can change your mind so quickly. And we had a great day. We had just a really fun day. And so that's, to me, what this Eric Butterworth book is all about. It's really just about...
I wanted something different.
Oh, you gotta turn your sound off.
Okay. So,
And now,
okay.
where's the comments? We're looking.
We're looking for the. I'm not sure where are the comments. This is your page. How do you find the comments on this?
Where's? Not sure.
Dashboard.
We're looking. Dashboard. Oh no. Yeah, we don't know what's happening tonight with this. Did you find it?
I found your page, your sign-in page.
Again. Okay. Well, if I keep switching back and forth, Bill will keep looking, but I'll.
Oh, we have
The ads are pretty loud.
comments up there. How do we have
Right, but
comments up there?
but that's on the other window.
Okay.
He's gonna try to find it. Oh yeah, you have to log into my.
I did.
Oh,
That's
you
what
did.
this is.
So anyways, so this week we're talking about money and giving, and the money enigma, and discover the wonder of giving. So if we can just all just take a moment, and we're just going to do a centering prayer. And so if you can just take a deep breath in, close your eyes if you feel like you want to. Deep breath in. And just look for a second if there's anything that you've been hanging on to that's going to really interrupt your being here for the hour. Like just see like if there's anything that's been a problem or some person that you've been thinking about today or some situation you think needs solving. And just let it go. Just allow yourself just to give yourself that gift. And just to bring yourself fully into this moment. So we take a moment to recenter ourselves and feel the presence of God here in our midst. We open our hearts to appreciate the gift of each person in this class, and we are here by divine appointment. We are grateful for the spiritual growth that is unfolding and the relationships which are forming, and we commit to co-creating a space of unlimited possibility. We pray this after the nature of the living Christ. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Can't find it. Let me try.
Yeah. See if you can find it.
We'll give him the.
There you go. Yeah. I'm not sure that's your UStream right there.
Okay.
So see what you can find with that. So the scripture or the affirmation for the week is money is spiritual energy in tangible form. I accept it gratefully, I use it abundantly, and I give it cheerfully. And one of the things we talked about last week, if you remember, is the idea that money can hear us, and that's a pretty powerful statement, because and also one of the things that I really like this week in Eric Butterworth's book is the idea that we remember to bless our money.
Right.
We remember to bless our money as it's going and bless our money as it's coming back to us.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's true for you all, but for me, I really need that healthy reminder to bless the money coming and bless the money going out. And the New Testament says, it has a Bible verse in it that says that God loves a cheerful giver.
Yeah, he does.
And we use God in terms of male, gender, mother, father, mother, God, divine. For me, it's Christ consciousness. It's our higher consciousness. The divine is supporting us in our cheerful giving and receiving.
Yeah.
And in fact, it tells the divine that that's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
It tells the divine that this is the energy that this is money is the manifestation of divine flow.
Yeah.
Money is a manifestation of it's actually God's currency.
Mm-hmm.
God's currency comes to us in the form of ideas. God's currency comes to us in the form of what we bless, and also if we curse things, we actually will attract the cursing to us too.
Well, to
So
me, that's like the best part of this whole Eric Butterworth is really watching my language. I'm really being alert to the things that I think and the things that come out of my mouth. And like last night when I was sitting up at 2:45 in the morning, I was planning to be a sick person today. I was planning to not go to church, and I was just going to lounge around. And I'm so grateful that I have the discipline to just sit still for a second and ask for help. But what I heard loud and clear, joy is your function. Joy is my function. And that's just what Bill was saying, is God loves a cheerful giver. We're happy learners. I mean, the Course says all these things. And so we're just like really having a remembrance of a commitment that we made. And now we're just honoring it. It's a beautiful thing.
well, and one of the practices that I have now, I never had this before, but one of the practices I have now going to Unity is I genuinely, I bless everybody's money.
Yeah.
I don't just bless the money that I put in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
basket. I bless everybody's
Yeah.
money. Bless and multiply all that I am,
Yeah.
all that I ask for, all that I receive, and multiply it. Multiply it for my brothers. Multiply it for my sisters. So, I mean, really, when you think of what that practice means, that practice means when I am in awareness of
Mm-hmm.
anybody's giving, mine, hers, his,
Mm-hmm.
theirs, that, it doesn't matter. If as I get in the habit of blessing
Mm-hmm.
the money, the flow, all I'm doing is saying, I really like this game. Let's play some more of it.
Yeah.
Let's do it some more.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you know what else it's doing for me? It's reminding me to bless my brother.
Mm-hmm.
We've started this prosperity class has started a whole new connection that I have to want to bless my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Bless that place where we had pizza today.
Mm-hmm.
We walked in. Lisa goes, "Bless this business."
Well, you couldn't help it. The guy was so beautiful, and like he just was like Jesus photos everywhere, and
Well, you can't help it, but it's
I
also
know.
you can do it all the time,
Yeah.
everywhere, whether they have Jesus photos or not.
I wanted to say we can see the comments. We got it all set up right now, and so hi Lynn, Maria. We see there's some other. I think Jay is here. Jay Squires. Hello. He said he was going to be having some computer problems. And just everyone who's listening, and just if you can just type in how's it going. We're on week 5, and it's chapters 9 and 10, and it's the money enigma and discover the wonder of giving. And so this is such a these were my favorite sections so far. And it says here, most people, whether they are wealthy, middle class, or debt-ridden, lack consciousness about the conversations, beliefs, patterns, and habits about money.
Mackie McNeil. Charles Fillmore tells us in Keep a True Lent, watch your thoughts when you are handling. Oh, it's on the back. When you're handling money. Watch your thoughts when you're handling money because money is attached to you through your mind.
Yep, and Shipley gave us 2 very good exercises today. Well, she gave us one last week, but she wants you to open up your wallet. There was kind of 2 parts to this one, and so you can do it now actually. If you want to go get your wallet and take out $1. And first what you want to do is you want to look at how's your money in there. Is it like messy? Is your wallet a mess? Like, and mine is. Mine definitely is. I have one of those wallets that's like a checkbook, so it's long and It's got lots of like credit card plastic stuff in it, and then I just throw my money in a wad into this, one you click and but what she said was to take the dollar out and look at the the, the black side first.
Right.
And the black side's the one that's got the dollar sign on it. And then what you want to do is you want to that's the side of the limitation. And then turn it over. And that was where it says, "In God I trust." Money is God in action.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so money is attached to you through your mind to the one source of all substance.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the other thing. When we put the green side up, we're remembering to to trust in God.
Mm-hmm.
In God I trust. And so just really just these small little connections that we have with money. And also, notice when we have notice when there's any kind of feeling, any kind of fear or secrecy about talking about money.
Right. I have to say, Lynn, that is like hilarious. Lynn just typed in that an ad popped that said, "What's in your wallet?" That's very funny. We're dreaming here, guys.
This one here is working now.
Oh, I see.
You can type on that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Well, Shipley gave another one that I really liked this morning. So she said, a very good way to see where you're at. Oh, that's Bill Frieda said, "Ha ha ha." Aha. She said, you want to look at your calendar or whatever you use, your BlackBerry, whatever you use that tells you your schedule and your checking account or your bank account, whatever you look to find out like what the activity is in your bank account, and that's going to tell you what your priorities are. And so she was saying, like, if somebody said to her when she was asked, "Well, what's your top priority?" and she said, "My kids. Well, they opened her calendar. Nowhere were her kids on that calendar. Nowhere. And you take it for granted. And so, like, you start to change your habits. You start to really look at, where's my money going? And where's my time going? Where's my focus going? I don't put meditation and God on my calendar. Never. My calendar is all about other people. I'm not on my calendar. Never. Bill's not on my calendar. I don't put the things that are important to me on my calendar, but they should be. I should be scheduling time in. I should really be looking at that.
Yeah, that's a good measurement. It doesn't. You can see where you are in the habit of writing those things down,
Mm-hmm.
and where you're in the habit of being drawn by your checkbook.
Yeah.
Your calendar, your day timer, not always, but it is a place where you can definitely measure it by your checkbook.
I spend all my money on groceries and books.
And books.
Groceries and books.
Yeah, a little bit on clothing.
Not that much.
Yeah.
I want to try to. I'm changing that, but yeah, that's. I wasn't really spending money on clothes.
Yeah. So Eric, or the study sheet says, money is a means to an end, not the end itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that's why we really just want to. It's energy. It's really just an energy source. It's an energy that allows us to. And by blessing it, we're just blessing that energy source.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it is nice to have money whenever you need it. It is nice to have money in the bank.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
You cannot eat money, and it cannot keep you warm or cuddle you at night. You'd have to have a lot of it to keep you warm. You'd have to.
It still wouldn't keep you warm. It would be like if you covered yourself in a mountain of it. It would still be cold. Money is cold.
Simply having money is not the goal. The goal is to use it to do whatever your heart leads you to do, and to do that which fulfills your divine purpose. That's Edwene Gaines. That's her quote. There is little likelihood that your life can become fully functioning with prosperity unless you have a positive and creative attitude towards money. Isn't it funny that we, you know, uh, we actually have, I don't think we do 100%, but it seems like we have a trouble, we have a fear of money. It seems like we have this.
Who's we? Speak for
Um,
yourself.
well, I don't think I have a fear of money.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't think I have a fear
I
of
don't
money.
have a fear of money either.
Yeah. Well, let me just say
Many people.
the general population, poverty is a result of the way you think and the way you treat money. I mean, and what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So is in terms of
Hey.
What?
Party.
Oh.
Terry Joe's here. Natalie and Donna's here.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. So there's to me, I didn't mean that the we in the sense that we here are fearful of money. I really was more thinking about the collective we. The issues of money. When people have money issues,
Mm-hmm.
it's that we I'm talking about.
Okay.
And it has been me in the past.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. So it says there is little likelihood that your life can be fully functioning with prosperity unless you have a positive and creative attitude towards money.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who think talking about money in a spiritual way is sacrilegious, but Jesus spoke of it often. 16 of his 38 parables are about money or possessions. More than 1,000 verses in the Bible deal with money and material goods.
Mm-hmm.
What were you taught about money?
Okay, so this is the one, like, we want you to do, like, somebody asked last week if we could do, like, some exercises or meditation. And so if you can either type in on the board or just to think about what's the question? What were you taught about?
Well, what were you taught about money?
And what's the next one? About the tapes.
Do those old tapes still play in your head?
Yeah.
Like money doesn't grow on trees.
You have to work hard.
You have to work hard for money. If you want it, if you want to get somewhere, you got to work hard to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just yada yada yada. Those tapes. Do they still play in your head? Do they rule your finances today? What is your relationship with money now? Are you feeling lack? And then this is where Shipley says, take a dollar bill in your hands, look it over, read all the writing, feel the energy it stirs in you. Now ask yourself, can I move from seeing it as only a dollar to in God we trust? Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you look at that dollar or that 10 or 20 or 50 or whatever denomination it is, you know, I like the idea of getting in the habit of when I pull it out of my pocket, green side out, I trust God for all my money. I trust the divine for all my, for being able to pass this on. Receive it, pass it on. Receive it, pass it on. It's never to get stagnant in the flow of the divine, because it's part of creation. Mm-hmm. It's how we co-create.
Yeah.
And it's the process of undoing the old thought system to being transformed in the renewing of our mind, that we learn another way to exchange.
Right.
That's what the whole blessing is about.
Yeah. So Maria says, I was shown poor people are good and rich people are selfish. Yep. And Lynn says, feast and famine. When we got money, my family would party. Mine too. I just was saying the same thing, Lynn, on Wednesday night. then we would be hungry later. We had the same thing. Friday nights.
Yeah, you just said that the other
I know
day.
that's what I grew up in. That was exactly the cycle that I thought was normal. And my father was a self-employed surveyor with his own business, and he had to pay his employees first. So often our family didn't have money, but when we did, it would come on Friday, and we would go for pizza and candy. It was like, and so when I get money, and it wasn't until just recently, I would go buy candy. I would just go buy. I'd be like so excited. I'd go buy like bath products and Walgreens. I would just spend it, and then I wouldn't have money for 2 weeks until I got paid again. And so Maria says sometimes money is the only way that we connect. Exactly. That's so great, Maria. It's the only way we connect with others. So let's bless it. And Lynn says I never learned to save. Me neither. We have the same story, Lynn. Yep. And I was taught you have to work really hard. That was a tape that was always running in my head. I was telling the class on Wednesday night that in order to break the tape, I've been telling myself that when I meditate, when I spend time with God, money comes to me. And it does. It's like the most amazing thing. Because I need to break that tape, that I have to work really hard for money to come to me. And I want to learn how to just sit quietly and trust and use my time to bless others. Like use it just for His purposes. And when I'm living in His purpose and I'm being joyful, that's the other thing. When I'm joyful, money comes to me. So I think about it like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Joy is my job. And when I'm joyful, money comes to me from all directions. It surprises me every day. And so, like, this is the cool thing with this class is, like, you can now begin to identify where the tapes are. And so we really encourage you to do this, to take some time, 5 or 10 minutes, and write it down. It's really good to write it down. And then you can send it to me if you want by email. And then look at ways that you can break the pattern. Because, like, we know from the Course in Miracles, until you break the pattern, it's going to keep showing up in another situation in a different body. It's just going to keep coming around until you learn the lesson, until you break the pattern and you start living under God's laws, like totally free and abundant in giving.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do this week. We're going to all just break the tapes. We're going to identify the tapes, and we're going to start to break them. And you got to be fearless. Like for me, I was told also, you got to really, you need the money. It's only, you got to work hard for it. And now I'm breaking it. I give it away.
Well, and you also have to, one of the things I love about Shipley is that she recognizes the habit of our words that we use when we talk about money, and she recognizes when we have such a thing as a savings account, or then we really want to re-language that as an opportunity fund, an opportunity to express in a larger way without borrowing.
Right.
An opportunity to express itself in a new car paid for in cash, so that you're not piling on some kind of debt. So an opportunity to buy a house, an opportunity to give a gift to someone that the universe just drops in on you. So one of the things that I'm noticing that Shipley is asking us to re-look at is just to keep using that word opportunity.
Yeah, we had somebody in our class on Wednesday night, and she keeps an emergency fund in her car. And we're like, oh, you got to change that word. Because you're just setting it up for yourself to have an emergency. She said, yeah, but I always have emergencies, and I run out of gas. I said, yeah, because you have an emergency fund in your glove compartment.
That's right. You got to
call it something else.
You got to match that up. it's
So we were telling her to call it a fun account, like that. You
Yeah.
always, I like the idea actually of keeping money in my car for Starbucks, and if something fun comes up and I see a restaurant I want to go or whatever, and like that was the other thing. I very rarely carried cash on me, and now in this class, I started really saying I always have cash, like for some, and I do. Except the other night, that was weird. I opened up my wallet to demonstrate what Shipley was saying. I was no money. I was like, "What? There's always money in my wallet."
Yeah.
Funny. Natalie says we don't talk about money. Shameful growing up to say you want it. Yep. And that's the thing. Like it's cool because we're freeing ourselves up now to just be able to talk about it. Today, Shipley was reading this thing about a woman whose job is to ask people for money. She's a fundraiser.
Oh yeah, that was a great story.
I know, and she
Yeah.
said, "I love talking about. I
She's-
love talking. I know.
I
she said,
love asking people for money.
That's
She
what
says, "I love asking people
Yeah.
for money." That was,
Yeah.
and it's true.
It's called the Food Project, the Hunger Project, and this they were just getting started, and she had an opportunity to go to this very large corporation in Chicago, and they were going to give her the largest donation that they've ever seen. And she went there and she was so nervous, and it was a corrupt company, and they just wanted to basically give her this big check to start to do good. They didn't care about the company, they didn't care about her, they just were trying to like
Get rid of guilt.
give her the guilt.
Yeah, they had a lot of guilt for the way they'd been practicing business, and they gave her a check for $50,000.
She gave her spiel. He didn't even care. She couldn't even see him because his office was so dark. And when she finished her spiel, he opened his drawer. He'd had a pre-printed check. He already knew the amount, so she didn't have to say a word. And he slid the $50,000. And then she flew that day to Harlem to give another talk in a very poor Harlem neighborhood at a church. And she was talking about just what they do, and this lady stood up in the back. She said, "I love what you're saying, and I don't have a lot of money." That she was like a maid, I think. She said, "I have $50. I'm going to give you all the money I have." And she walked up and gave her a whole lot of money. It was like ones and a 5 and a 10. And everyone started walking up and giving her $1 bills, $5 bills, and she made like $500. But she said that $500 was worth more than the $50,000 because it was from their soul. That they were giving everything, and she the next day returned the $50,000 check. And he wrote to her years later, and that was a defining point for him because he saw he was being called to integrity. Excuse me.
She ended up giving the check back.
She gave it back.
She gave the check back, and then I don't know what the period of time was where the board of that company got together and they called her again, and they gave her
quadrupled.
They gave her a much larger check, and they expressed from their heart that we really feel that we want to give and be a part of this project.
Yeah.
And it completely turned it around.
I have to go get up and blow my nose, everybody.
Okay, so she's got to get up for. So I'll just.
But I'm not sick.
She's not sick.
I'm in the ascension. That's the story I'm telling myself. I've been bombarded with energy fields, and I'm just in the ascension, and this is what it looks like, and I'm joyful about it.
So discover the wonder of giving. Money is being hoarded. And that's another thing, if you get into the habit of hoarding things, that's another, that's a mentality of fear and lack. Money is being hoarded and is lying idle in banks all over the land that ought to be used to educate and enlighten the human family. If you have a surplus over and above your needs, you are not fulfilling the law by letting it lay idle. Set it into circulation by giving it a good cause, lending it to the Lord, and it will return to you again in due season, multiplied. That's Charles Fillmore, Unity Magazine in 1905. if we would recognize the value in the principle of giving in place of the constant thought of getting, we would not find ourselves in poverty.
Yeah.
See, that's a fellow named Newcomb. Such a simple thing as giving of yourself, giving thoughtfulness, time, help. That's what Lisa was just talking about. Time, treasures, talents,
And tithe.
Will trigger the cycle of abundance. What are you giving?
Mm-hmm.
How does giving make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Do you allow others to give to you? So, did you have something you were going to read?
I was just thinking about this thing from Paul that he said, and this is like one of the most misquoted things in the Bible, is people think that the root of all evil is money. But it's the love of money which is the root of all evil. It's an attachment. That's the thing. And he was writing, that letter was written, who was it written to? He said in here.
It was written to Timothy.
It was written to Timothy, who was just getting started. He was just a young man, very young, and he was dealing with these churches that really were all about using the church as a place to do commerce, and he was compromising his message. And
Oh, this was so funny. Do you remember what Marie told us last week about this story?
What?
The reason, this is so funny for you guys that have some Bible background. I never knew this, but Marie, this girl that we went to her wedding today, she is so amazing.
I know.
She knows
I never met anybody like this
She
girl.
knows the correct.
And she gets so excited. She'll be talking Bible school. Woo! Ooh, I get so excited. She gets so excited when she's talking about these principles.
Like this one does.
No, but she's different. She's definitely like, I'm in love with this girl for sure. But what was she saying?
You gonna let me talk?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What she was saying. What she was saying was when Paul wrote those letters to Timothy, and she said it so clear. When Paul wrote those letters to Timothy, and he said, "Tell those women to put their head down." And Timothy was telling Paul that these women were starting. They had these different. They wanted to, like, the women pretty much ran the church. And they rose to the occasion, just like Mary Magdalene, just like all the quiet things that happen in the background even today are done by women. Well, Paul sort of in a sarcastic way said, why don't you just tell those women to put their head down and put something put their veil over their head and tell them to shut up.
But ever since then,
the church got a hold of it and decided that meant that women were secondary to men in church, and they needed to cover their heads, and they needed to zip the lip. In church, it was a total misinterpretation of the whole event. It was the funniest thing ever, but it actually sounded very, very true.
It did, yeah.
Yeah. Because Paul was too brilliant to have something as silly as a hierarchy and a separation between male and female.
Mm-hmm.
He was a brilliant, enlightened being.
Yeah. So let's see here. So this was the affirmations. I don't know if this was the affirmation. Oh, this was one man said, "Since I became aware that I am an individualized expression of the infinite flow of substance, I feel prosperous at all times. And the most amazing thing is the way money flows to me from all directions. I simply can't keep it away from me." And that's exactly how I feel. I just feel it's the strangest thing, because I don't have a normal job, but I just am so living now in God. It's all I care about. I don't want to be careful. I was just about to say I don't care about money. I caught myself.
Good catch.
But it's how I feel. I feel like that the money is just something that's given to me so that I can put it back into circulation again. And so Shipley was saying today, it's like a river. Sometimes it flows and it gushes, and sometimes it just trickles, but it's always flowing.
That's right. That's right. It's all love. Lynn was just talking about these creatures living inside of you.
I know. I'm a character, all right. I'll tell you any story. But the thing is it works. Like if you really become aware of the power of decision to change your mind and tell a different kind of story, the one I tell myself, it's passing quickly. I don't know what this is. Like I'm definitely, my nose is running, congestion. Who cares? Like I just say, okay, if I don't tell a story about it, it's just passing quickly.
It's like a passing cloud. It's somehow. I mean, I'm not going to tell a story about it either. Never mind. I'm going to leave that one alone.
I know. We're learning. We're slow learners, but we're learning.
What I like that Butterworth said in this book on page 152, he says, "Get the positive thought. Money is good. Money is God in action."
Mm-hmm.
Speak these words over a few times. Money is good.
Money is good.
Money is God in action.
Money is God in action.
Money is good.
Money is
Money
good.
is God in action.
I love money.
Yeah.
Money is
Money
God
loves
in
me.
action. Money loves
Speak
me.
these words over a few times. It is not to make an object of getting money or loving money for itself. We simply want to eliminate some of the negatives with which we have surrounded it.
Mm-hmm.
I get so excited about this because I really like the idea of using tools like this to transform my beliefs, to transform not the beliefs that are conscious, but the beliefs that are hidden, the ones that were like given to me in a moment of fear, the ones that were given to me in a moment of of having a different belief.
Mm-hmm.
So money passes through your hands many times a day. I really like this piece right here. It may be a little money if you should happen to be on welfare or living on Social Security, or it may be millions if you are a person of affluence. But you are constantly buying and selling and earning and spending more than you may be aware of. Money is an extension of the person who uses it.
I love that.
Your thoughts and feelings color it.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts and my feelings color the exchange. That's one of the reasons that I really watch myself if I'm trying to like chisel somebody down in their price, or if I'm, if I'm negotiating to get the best price. What is that? What's underneath that? Am I doing? And a lot of times we do it out of just pure habit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we get it, like if something costs $5,000 and and you ask somebody if they'll take $4,500 for it. I've just devalued what my brother was wanting to sell to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it really goes to a point of wanting to be guided in what should I pay for this? Internally, Jesus, higher self, divine love, what should I pay for this? I go with that number.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I go with that number every time because that number coming from within won't lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you are constantly buying and selling and earning and spending more than you may be aware of. Your thoughts and feelings color it, making it filthy lucre or blessed divine substance. Blessed divine substance. If you think positively and creatively about your money, you actually multiply its effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
If you criticize and depreciate it, you actually tend to dissipate it and repel it from you.
Yeah.
So it's just really, it's that Romans 12:2 again, over and over and over. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, well, we want to move into the next week, and we'll just quickly go into if there's anything from discover the wonder of giving. The one part I really loved in here was this section from the Bible in John that he says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one begotten Son." But what Charles Fillmore says is the important part is this, is that God gave. And that we are in the likeness and the being of God. We are God, extending ourselves, extending himself. And so we so love the world that we give. We're givers. We're cheerful givers, and we give. And so this is like these are just really incredible practices. And we're gonna go into oh yeah, Lynn's talking about this this thing about the chisel. Let's see here. There is an inspired painting by a German artist, Rosenthal, entitled The Blessing of Work. It depicts a young boy carving a life-size picture of the Virgin Mary. The almost completed figure towers above the young artist, and while he works intently carving the details of the feet, Mary looks down upon him with love and with outstretched arms blessing him. While he is giving himself in the creative flow, he is dynamically receiving immeasurably in return. The painting reveals much more. Light is streaming through the open window, its rays bathing him with an aura of illumination. On a large plaque on the wall, a heavenly choir is singing paeans of praise directly toward him, and by his side there is what we assume to be a picture of his mother, which he is using for a model and with hands clasped in devotion. She is blessing him. Thus, the whole tone of the work suggests that the whole universe is rushing, streaming, pouring into the boy, while he quietly gives himself in creative effort. It is a beautiful visual testimony to Jesus. Give, and you shall receive. And Natalie says, I find in some areas of my life I believe in God giving me all I need, but in other areas I believe in struggle.
That's good.
That is good. And it's so cool, too.
I mean, it's good to see it.
It is good to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, Butterworth says here, right in the first page of chapter 10, giving does not refer simply to money.
No.
It is a process that may involve money, but it also involves your work and the many ways in which you make contact with life. Giving is basically an attitude with which you touch things.
Nice.
One of the things I was thinking about, and one of the things I shared in church today, is that, you know, we're really learning how to really be hollow bamboos. We're really learning how to be this just played by the divine, and in that, you know, as we give, we're going to watch it come back to us, and we go, oh wow, look how that worked. And we give over here and we watch it come back to us. Give over here and watch it come back to us. And so that's what we're really in the practice of doing. That's why it doesn't, I mean, we talk about money, we talk about tithes, we're talking about talents, gifts, and that's why it feels so good to do things for people. It feels really good to do things to people when we do it wanting nothing in return. And the attitude is, oh, I'm being expressed right now. I'm a channel for God right now. I'm a channel for the divine right now. And watching that go forth takes it puts a whole different, not only picture on it, but it puts me in a whole different flow of the divine.
It does, yeah.
So.
Hi, Amelia. Nice to see you, my friend.
Oh, welcome.
I love that.
Cool.
I just I love this last. I just love the last paragraph in chapter 10. It says, "When you discover the wonder of giving, you will wonder how you could have lived so long in any other way. It is the key that makes truth work, that opens the door to your good you have been seeking, and that gives life that added glow. It can be one of the great discoveries of your life. When you become a committed giver, you can no more go back to the old way of living than you can go back to life in prehistoric times. There is a new world awaiting you, a new level of life that can open to you. and a new experience of the dynamism of truth which you have been discovering. Discover the wonder of giving. So Shipley was talking a lot this morning about consistency. It doesn't matter how much you give. Like if 10% is too much of your time, your talent, your treasure, pick something that's a little safer to you. She said she thinks the reason it's 10%, she says, there's all sorts of Bible stuff about it, and that they can say, 10 is the number of, not completion, 7's the number of completion. What was 10?
10 is it was some kind of multiplier.
I can't remember, but
Yeah.
they have all these metaphysical meanings. But she said, you know what I think it is? Here's what I think 10 is. 10 will
10
stretch you.
stretches you.
10 will stretch
10
you.
stretches you so that you know that you
Have to surrender.
have to surrender and depend on God. And she's right.
Yeah, I know.
She's right. When you give up 10%, you're saying, whoa.
10% off the top. You're putting it back into circulation. And it's just like, oh, I can't. I have bills to pay. So let's move on to the homework for next week because we're like 5 more minutes.
All right.
We love you guys.
Yes, we do.
So next week is one chapter.
Thank you
chapter
for joining
11.
us.
I know. So great.
This is awesome. So next week, homework assignment for before beginning your study group meeting the week beginning Sunday, October 28th.
That's today.
Now is the time to give. Jesus told the widow to start. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that it?
Yep.
Jesus told the widow to start where she was. Clean out closets and give it away. No thought of the cost or of a return. Give some volunteer hours in your church. Give a kind word when someone is feeling down. Give love to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Take time to journal the experience. Read chapter 11.
Yep. So the practices for this week then are to start giving, clean out your closets, start looking at the idea if you can give consistently 10% to acknowledge God as your source and your supply, volunteer, and start to look at what the tape that you've been running in your head. Start to find a way to break it. And the third thing is to look at your calendar and your checkbook and to start to really see where your priority and start putting your real priorities in there.
Well, and also don't take personal credit for giving stuff away. Consider yourself to be the divine that is completely expressing and blessing more of the divine.
Mm-hmm.
Just totally put on the identity that we are but a vessel. This is just a vessel that is just being expressed through.
Mm-hmm.
And really that's like the best way to give and that's what Butterworth means by giving unconditionally without wanting anything in return. Right here he says the most important aspect of John 3:16. We talked about this, but for God so loved the world that he gave. Mm-hmm. God is the divine givingness of the universe. And you are created in the image and likeness of this divine givingness. You cannot make any sense out of life or realize the free flow of substance in your experience until you begin to see yourself as a giver. Mm-hmm. It may mean a complete turnaround in your approach to life, where you think give instead of get. What's in it for me? In your spiritual quest, you are seeking to establish yourself in a unitive relationship with the divine flow. You can never really achieve this level of consciousness until giving becomes the main thrust in your life. Now this is important. This is the key that I'm reading this. And when it does, when you discover the wonder of giving, you become unblushingly an incurable giver.
Yes.
Meditate long on this point, for it is one of the most important keys of the prosperity law. And so it is.
Amen.
So we'll leave it there. It's
Yeah.
time for us to go, beloved friends.
Yep, and I'll be sending out the study guide tonight for week 6. It's a new look at tithing, and it's going to be chapter 11. And the affirmation is, I have renewed my thoughts and beliefs. I am a positive influence on my world as I move forward with a consciousness of prosperity. And the scripture for this week is, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. It's Romans 12:2. So it says tithing is about saying thank you, which always begins with putting some gratitude in our attitude. So
Okay, so
we love you.
Thank you for joining us.
And Jay made it online. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah.
We love you all.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye-bye.